Hey friends, I'm out here. It's a rainy day. I'm in my my little safe space out here. So one thing about working in skate is you got to make yourself a safe space, because the skateboarding industry is not an inherently healthy headspace for creatives and industrious folks. Jason Coatney, I'm about to not talk about something that we all need to be thinking about. So one reason I'm not going to be talking much about why skate shops are failing, and we've got Jason Coatney here on the live cast. Jason is the owner of Full Circle Skateboards in Circleville, Ohio. And Buddy Boyer, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for checking in on me the other day. So I'm taking a minute this morning to talk to you about why skate shops are failing. So I used to talk and say that skate shops are, hello guys. I used to talk about the fact that skate shops are failing. And it is a root of a lot of anger. A lot of people got really mad at me for talking about the failure of skate shops. And my phone just told me I've only got 10% battery. You know, guys, I am not a natural to all this tech stuff. Lots of older guys like me think it's just bullshit, and we hate it. That's not my conclusion. I don't conclude that. Look, I got a mask from one of my helmets I don't wear. So anyway, why skate shops are failing is something I'm not talking about today, and here's why I'm not talking about it. Because the failure of skate shops isn't about some things and is about other things. So here in my safe space, on a rainy day, I'm gonna begin to not talk about something that you're not allowed to talk about. Rule number 1: don't talk shit on the industry. That's from Jenkem Magazine, talking about how to be a pro skateboarder. But it really is serious business to critique the industry. So before I don't talk about why skate shops are failing, let's establish something. Skate shops are failing. Immediately I think of two ways in which skate shops are failing. Way number 1 is skate shops are failing financially. Well, Jason, I'm about to not talk about this. So, first, skate shops are failing financially. We are seeing the final results, the conclusion, if you will, of years of consistent performance issues. So the skate shops, the retails are failing, and this is part of a larger American retail decline. So retail is declining in the United States of America, and part of this is not because of skateboarding, is not because of skate culture, but is because of a larger cultural shift in our country away from over-the-counter service in our consumerism. Thank you. Now, so they're performing poorly financially, and skate shops are failing and have been failing for a much longer time at understanding the role of retail in a market culture. They don't even understand. For years they haven't even understood that there's market, and then there's culture, and then there's market culture. There's community, and then there's industry, and then there's industry community. See, And so what has happened is for a long time, decades, the skateboarding industry has conflated the idea of the skateboarding community and the skateboarding industry community, and haven't understood that there are different pieces in play, different dynamics in play when you're talking about the community of skateboarding versus the community of industry people. Fundamental to this is the misunderstanding of the position of industry. Industry may or may not flourish with national cultural dynamics, but industry always has its best chance at sustainability and long-term profitability when industry positions itself below the community, offering support through nurture, through value and quality in its commodities, okay, and offering value and quality in the branding. So commodity quality, value and quality in its commodity. Skateboarding industry got off track when these mostly consistent people types got a taste of that shoe money, and they sold out to shoe money. And we're going to talk about that, Jason, that the performance culture is an ad culture quality. But first, the structural integrity of the skateboarding industry ought to have been built upon quality and value in skateboarding hard goods. Because skateboarding hard goods, trucks, wheels, bearings, decks, risers, hardware, on and on this list goes. All of these should have been developing for the last 20 years premium product lines of high quality and premium branding lines of high value. Instead, quality and value in the product line have dropped. Outsourcing led to multi-sourcing. We'll talk about multi-sourcing another time. That's when you have not a foreign factory making your product, but a bevy of foreign factories making product for you, and you don't know which one made it because they're brought together in a selling house and then sold to you as made for you. And that's OEM. The non-domestic OEM ethics are disgusting, and they produce low quality hard goods. Hard goods are what makes skateboards go. The deck, the grip tape. I mean, watching Jessup get reamed by a skater-owned company, while Jessup is an American-made brand, and no matter what anyone says is their favorite setup, the fact and truth is that Jessup has a better adhesive bed, a higher quality plastic back, it has a more consistent grip. It is a great product whether or not it's your preference, and being made in the USA by a family that works in that industry, the Jessup company deserves respect within the industry. Instead, they're met with bad ethics. It was Skidmark magazine ran an ad against the Jessups, basically doxing Mr. Jessup on behalf of skater-owned companies. Meanwhile, said skater-owned company is Chinese shit, crap, that everyone thinks is good because they're told it's good, not because of actual reasons. And everyone thinks the brand is good because someone did a hard trick down a big thing. And that is a crappy industry. Believe me, it's not the skateboarder's fault, it's not the customer's fault. They just have to choose from what they're offered. But our industry stopped offering quality and character in both branding and hard goods, and instead cashed in on shoes. I know a skate shop that was running $1 million years on Nike and Adidas and yada yada yada. So what happens is shoes, which are not the skateboarding industry, and this is where Consolidated really missed it. Instead of saying keep Nike out of skateboarding, we should have been saying shoes aren't skateboarding. Great skateboards, great trucks, great bearings, great plastics, great grip tape. These are skateboarding, and whether or not it's skater owned, the character and value of a brand shouldn't be based on someone's personality. It should be based on the real quality of the products. We never developed, over the past 25 years, we haven't developed any type of community conversation holding our brands and our industry to account for quality. It's ridiculous. And now the shops are saying, well, skate shops are failing. Chris Nieratko just put out an article based, I mean, a big post about how skate shops are failing, and it's couched in a whole bunch of presuppositions, and you just, it stymies me that we're discussing this without addressing the elephant in the room, which is that skate shops abandoned skate hard goods as the spine and base for our industry. They abandoned skate hard goods and turned to shoes, which are not our industry. Our job as skateboarding industry people is to make amazing skateboards, amazing trucks, and our trucks are not amazing. Our skateboards are not amazing anymore. And I just wanted to make a distinction this morning and say that the skateboarding industry, the retailers in skate are failing. One reason is because overall there's a serious decline in American retail. American consumers are not interested in buying things from stores anymore. They're not getting from stores what they get from the onlines, which is they get their stuff, they get to pick which one they want, and this is a big problem. It's a complicated problem. It's not simple to fix. But make no mistake, while I don't know how to save skate shops, I don't know how to save them, I've done my part to provide a brand that is based on what our whole industry should have been based in. High quality, super value branding that reaches out to people who are not yet skateboarders, branding that makes greater the number of skateboarders and the number of kinds of skateboarders that are welcomed into the fold. Right now, we have some brands that are thriving by consolidating. They're making people feel like they can't be skateboarders, and that attracts the insiders and repulses the outsiders. Well, those outsiders to skateboarding, those kooks or whatever you want to call them, they're the future of our industry. And not only that, they're where the fun is at. But yes, I'm telling you this right now, skateboarding is actually alive and well. People love skateboards. They always love skateboards, and they always will love skateboards. But skate shops, listen, you got a problem, and it is that almost universally, people hate coming into your skate shop. No, not your homies. Your homies love coming into your skate shop because you've run it like some sort of charity for them, some sort of insiders club. The insecurity of male youth will always be suckered easily into a skate shop. But in terms of expanding the kinds of skateboarders that there are, and I mean, just completely, I watched, when I started making shaped boards, immediately the kook talk started. Oh, those are for kooks, those are for kooks. Well, then shaped boards came into vogue, and now they're carrying shaped boards, but they're all made in China and Mexico, and they're chippy and they're whippy, and they don't have the backing of real American production behind them, and they're not as inspiring as what's being made in workshops in America. And yet, for years now, I'm in year 10, and the orders are not coming in from skate shops. Lester's Rock and Roll Shop, music shop, skate shop, sells tons of my boards, does really well with them, over in Middletown, Ohio. It's never a problem to restock Lester. He always restocks on proper terms. There's no problem here. People love skateboards, but man, skate shops are failing, and it comes down to the fact they didn't understand the role of industry to be below community. They didn't invest in accountability to the brands to produce high quality skate product. They didn't understand industry community ethics, and they indulged themselves for a long time on shoe money. Shoe money is gone. Nike is online. They're selling direct to the customer, making keystone margins on every sale to a customer, and you aren't gonna see shoes return in any way like they were in the boom. And Chris Neratko is awesome. Awesome is as awesome does. When you look at the track record of how someone does, then when I look at their track record and I analyze for that myself,